So what can we do about it? If you're a Scrum Master or a coach who's going to be helping these leaders out, these are realistic, simple tips. If you are one of the leaders, they are also realistic, simple tips. There's a organization we have helped quite a bit that had us back in to do a little reassessment. It was right before COVID hit last year. And when we were giving some of our recommendations as a result of our assessment, the CIO I was talking to said, "Oh, here comes the sales pitch. I'm sure there's going to be, a couple slides of things I can spend my money on or buy." I just sat back for a minute and laughed. And I said, no, the first two are behavioral changes that cost you nothing other than making a decision. Sure, we can talk to you about helping you with that, but a lot of this stuff is perfectly within every organization's control, because that's really, at the end of the day, all that sets you apart from your competitors or from other organizations is the choices, the decisions we make inside those companies. And leaders are crucial to make those. So ensure that your people know. Be consistent and be clear about why the organization is making this change. Who will be impacted? How will we make this happen? And the thing that leaders sometimes misunderstand is the fact that you have to say it more than once. You have to say it more than twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It can take up to 7 times for the average adult to get the message. And so leaders have to be very patient and very steadfast in just making sure that they're consistently communicating. The leaders that fall down on this assume that because they sent it in an email, it was understood, or because they said it once, that it was heard or interpreted the way that they expected it to be. And that's generally not the case. So they've got to be passionately, consistently sending the same message. Why are we doing this? Who is impacted? How are we going to make this happen? And what are the goals and objectives? So set those expectations about what the subsequent behavior changes are from people in the organization. Getting people to work together. That's what cross-functional. Not everybody has to do every skill. That's not what anybody's saying. Nobody's saying y'all have to be unicorns, but work together. That's what teamwork is, working together cross-functionally. Order people's work. Leaders don't realize that they could get an immediate jump in productivity if they simply did 2 simple things. Dedicate people, even if you're doing project management. If you dedicate people 100% and order the work, because if everything's priority, nothing is, you're going to see a jump in their productivity. And then provide those clear and measurable goals and objectives. Notice no A word was used in these tips, because it really doesn't have anything to do with that. It's not that these are agile goals. These are just very simple goals and objectives for any organization to undertake. Now, certainly, if you want to use the A word, if you want to say agile or scrum, it's best to know what you're talking about. And the good news for leaders is it doesn't cost you a dime. The Agile Manifesto is out there for free, agilemanifesto.org. The Scrum Guide is free. And oh, by the way, it gets updated. The latest revision just happened in November of 2020, but you can always find the current one at scrumguides.org. And I had that URL in the material earlier for you. But the other thing is getting educated. So not only from a self-education point of view in reading on your own, but then maybe you send some of your leaders to some kind of training, or maybe you bring somebody in-house to do that. But I love that people send their team members to us for certified Scrum Master, product owner, developer. Awesome. But what we consistently hear is, but my leaders don't think that this is what this means. Well, have they read the Scrum Guide? Have they read the manifesto? So we want to make sure that we're being congruent. And this stuff doesn't always have to mean, 2 days, 3 days. No, there's really short leadership workshops available out there too. Clearly communicate what you mean when you say Agile. Have you chosen Scrum? Have you chosen extreme programming? Have you chosen DSDM? The challenge when people say things like, we're going to do a hybrid. Well, hybrids, let's think. If I go to drive home from the location I'm at tonight, and I decide to just do a hybrid, I'm just going to follow a hybrid of different driving rules, maybe from different countries, maybe from different parts of the world. What's going to happen? Am I likely to meet my goal and objective of getting home safely? Or could I potentially get in an accident? Could I get a ticket, depending on what speed I choose? So when we say hybrid, leaders don't understand you're confusing the crap out of your people even more. Because it's hard enough for people to say, what are the rules of the game? Oh, we chose Scrum, boom, here's the rules of the game in the Scrum guide. I got this, I can handle this. But now you start throwing rules from several other ways of doing work, some that even contradict it, like some of the rules in project management. Best of luck in meeting your goals and objectives.